So, here I am again. And first, like I said before, I think I'm recording this again. I'm going to talk about action figures, and then I'm going to talk about Crisis on Infinite Earths, and then Green Arrow and the Longbow Hunters. So first, you can see I've got a Dick Grayson Nightwing here. I got the Nightwing, the Dick Grayson head with the Batman figure that came out this year for the 80th anniversary. It's part of the Batman 80th anniversary wave. It includes Dick Grayson as Batman and Jason Todd as Red Hood, and I don't have everybody in the wave yet. Looking forward to getting Alfred, but I switched heads with my Nightwing figure. I took the head off of this Nightwing figure and switched it so that I could have an unmasked Nightwing. I've been wanting an unmasked Nightwing for a while, and I honestly think he looks fabulous. I don't have any complaints. I think he looks awesome, and it's one of my favorite from the year that I've gotten. Definitely. Got lots of favorites, and I hope to get to talk about a lot of my figurines as I go through these videos. So he comes with 2 sets of hands. I got the 2 hands right here that he comes with. Set them down. And some Eskrima sticks. So, yeah. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep the video on here for a minute. And here's my Green Arrow Longbow Hunters, which I'm going to talk about here in just a second. Going to switch the head on the Nightwing figure to the head it came with so that I can talk about him with that head, and then I will change it so that I can talk about the other things. So okay. Oh, yeah, good. Okay, now I'm going to show the figure with his original look, and then I'm going to go from there. So, here he is with his original look, with the original head and body. This is originally what it looked like, and I'm hoping to get another one so that I can have one with one head and one with the other. But for now, he's very much there, and then here he is, even side shot. I'm gonna go back here and then just kind of turn around. That's what we got right there. Now I'm gonna switch your hands out real quick and show you what he looks like with the Eskrima sticks. Okay. Okay, here he is with Eskrima sticks in the hands and swap the hands. I'm gonna just turn him just like before. I mean, he's kind of leaning back a little much here. If he'll want to stand for me, praying he will, and we're gonna turn you around. Yeah. So yeah, that's the Nightwing figure. Now I'm gonna move on to the Batman figure, which is my easy choice. But first, I want to show you him with the Dick Grayson head with the Eskrima sticks, and then we'll go from there. That'll be okay. Here he is with the Dick Grayson head and with the Eskrimas, and I think he looks fabulous, just as he did at the beginning of the video. And here we go. Now to move on to the Batman figure. I know I feel like I'm jumping around a lot. Okay. But I want to get the Grayson figure done first. I have my reasons for that, so. Okay. Here we are with the Dick Grayson Batman figure, and I think this figure turned out pretty good. There's a lot of people online saying they didn't like this figure. And personally, I like it, but there's a few differences I would have liked to see. Personally, maybe make the legs a little bit bigger and wider. The feet are a little big. That's one complaint I've heard about. I'm not really a fan of this cloth cape. I mean, this is an awesome figure, but that's one of my complaints that I have personally. And I would have added a third pointy thing on the gloves, because that's a symbol in the Bat family of how highly trained you are, and two, I don't think that's too good of a number to get. So, yeah. Anyway, that's my thoughts on that. I'm going to hurry here and switch heads again. Okay. Now, this is a masked Batman head that I'm going to show here. And I gotta say, he still looks pretty good. I mean, I think this Batman figure turned out great. And one thing you can tell with the Bruce Wayne and Dick Grayson here is that he's smiling. Bruce doesn't smile in the costume. Dick smiles. And I think that was the whole, they were going for a lighter Batman, darker Robin approach back early on in like 2010. And Damian was Robin and Dick was Batman. Really quick, let's revisit that. I'm going to grab my Damian Wayne figure. Put him up here. So, Batman Reborn was a pretty good book. A lot happened in it. Battle of the Cowl, Batman Reborn. This is a Batman Reborn figures. I should put that in particular. This is the ones I've got. Here they are. We got Stephanie Brown as Batgirl, Dick Grayson as Batman, and Damian as Robin. Really quick. I want to get a quick another look at these guys. So I felt like this look needed to be done. If I want to do this real quick. And I might do an image with my Bat Family characters here in just a second with some of them. But here we are with the Dick Grayson head on the figure, and I think it looks just as amazing. Actually, maybe I'll do another video about the Bat Family figures I've got lined up on my display. I have a display with all of them lined up. But anyway, moving on. Now we're going to talk about Green Arrow and the Longbow Hunters. This topic is one of those that I've been looking forward to talk about. It's a very big comic moment for the Green Arrow, and I think it's a pretty huge deal. So, and this is what it looks like. Some of the things that go on in this book are very interesting and fit the Green Arrow character pretty well. One of the things that I can think of right now that I really, really liked about this book was that we got to see why him and Black Canary don't have any kids. Why is she against having kids? I mean, that seems like a pretty huge ordeal. Very huge. And going through there and realizing the reasoning behind that. Because Black Canary is fabulous with kids. If you've seen any DC stuff, like Young Justice, she trains the young heroes. And they do have a kid in the Injustice 2 game. But other than that, it's they don't have any kids. And the reasoning for this is because they're both heroes. And the chance of them sacrificing each other is a pretty huge ordeal. Another thing I would like to mention about this book that I liked was Shadow. Shadow is a pretty popular character from the Arrow TV show. She's been around in the comics for a while, but I honestly didn't know that much about her. And reading this, I got to know quite a bit about Shadow and what she is, basically, and who she is. She's very, very interesting character. In fact, I'll see if I can find... I mean, this book was a pretty good book, and I really, really enjoyed it. So, this is Shadow right here in the book. And this book was written by Mike Grell. I'm going to read you the back real quick, because this is my DC comic, or Marvel comic, roundup news for the week. And I'd like to do reviews on comic books, and I'm hoping to be doing this at least once a week. Let me try that again. There are all kinds of hunters. Some hunt to survive, and some just like to watch things die. Some hunt the hunters. Mike Grell's critically acclaimed miniseries strips the Emerald Archer of his gimmicks and trick arrows and instead casts the aging Oliver Queen as an urban hunter in a concrete wilderness, patrolling the back alleys and rooftops of crime-ridden Seattle. As Ollie tracks a serial killer responsible for 18 girls' deaths, his girlfriend, Dinah Lance, launches her investigation against the city's drug lords, but neither will be prepared for the danger they face, especially once Ollie learns he's not the only archer on these hunting grounds. And I gotta say, I love this book. There are some things about this book that were maybe things I would like to mention. This book is definitely not a book for kids. If you want to come and get into comic books, There are a lot of comic books that are not for kids, so you want to be sure what you're reading, because there's stuff in here that isn't kid appropriate. So I definitely wouldn't read this book to a kid, or I would play it safe. As far as kids go and comics, I mean, yeah, there are some comic books for kids, but this definitely is not one of them. There are some things in here that are not kid appropriate. It does reference drugs a lot, and it's got a whole lot of stuff in here. Violence and swear words. It's still a really, really good story, but it's not one I'd read to your kids or have your young kids read. I want to give this comic maybe a 4 out of 5. I loved it, but it's just, it was really, really good, but I just felt like a 4 out of 5 is the way to go with this one. I'm not trying to hound it down too much, but I could have done without some of the language in certain parts. I mean, it wasn't too bad, but I'm very particular about that when I read something. So that's my thoughts on that. And, this is my first video review, and it happens to be on my birthday. So I'm very excited to be talking about this on my birthday. Anyway, I'm going to hurry and go grab something. I'll be right. So, my next review figure, after talking about the comic, is Jason Todd Red Hood. Here he is. And man, I gotta say, I love him. He looks fabulous, in my opinion. And, it's Jason. He was the second Robin. And he's as Red Hood, he's a great character. I really, really like the head he came with. This head, particularly. I am going to switch heads here in a minute. But just want to look at the whole look. I'm going to turn Jason around. And we're going to get that in. So, there's a look at the figure. I think he's great. And I definitely think he's worth it if you're interested in picking him or any of these other figures I've talked about up. In fact, I'll show you another shot of those before I finish this video here in hopefully the next 10 minutes. So hopefully I've got enough material to go over to last me for that. But I'm going to do a quick head swap, and we'll be right back. Sorry, I didn't know I wasn't recording there for a sec. I gotta say, I like the other head better, but he doesn't look too bad. He did not come with his own guns to hold. He's got these guns in here, but they're non-removable, which is a downside of this figure. I'm not a fan, like I said before, I'm not a fan of this head. I really like his other head better than I like this one. And then he's got the open hands here. Now I'm going to take a minute and turn him around again with the Red Hood head, which isn't too bad. Okay, now I'm going to swap hands. He did come with an extra pair of hands are switched. Now we got the fist hands on now. So if you want him with fists, you can switch out the hands and have his fists. I mean, I still think he looks great. The though I do prefer the other head, and I'll be switching back to that other head here in just a second. So I've switched hands again, but I also switched head back to the head I like. So here's a look, everybody. So now I'm going to bring everybody I reviewed back in, and I'm going to do a few different looks on them. So first up, I am going to bring back the Damian and Stephanie Brown figure to go with these guys real quick. So there we are with them. I mean, that's not the clearest shot I can probably get, but that's going to have to do. So here's everybody together. I think they look fabulous together. Okay, here's another look at everybody together. And here's a look at all three figures I talked about today. So I am going to show the whole wave in a video. Cat. I don't really want the cat in the video, but she decided she wanted to be in the video. So surprise cat cameo. Okay. Then I am going to pop. So